Revealed. I spent $33,000 on a dream Paris vacation, only to discover heartbreaking truth. Jenny's heart raced as the plane touched down in Paris. Excitement swelled in her chest. She had saved for years, tirelessly putting away every tip from the diner where she worked. This trip symbolized hope, adventure, and the promise of something more for her two kids, Jake and Mia. Together, they had dreamt of eating pastries in cozy cafes and gazing up at the Eiffel Tower. It was a dream carved from love and sacrifice, and now they were finally here. She could feel the magic buzzing in the air, and it made all the hardships and late-night shifts worthwhile. Their first afternoon was a whirlwind. Laughter mingled with the sweet scent of fresh bread as they wandered through Montmartre, Mia's eyes sparkling like the nearby street artists' paint palettes. Jenny felt alive, bumping shoulders with strangers, sharing whispered secrets of what family meant beneath the shadow of the majestic basilica. Her heart swelled as they snapped pictures, giggling under the soft Parisian sun. Yet as the days unfolded, hidden cracks began to show. A hidden cost here, a frustrating inconvenience. Their straightforward things like transportation turned complicated, and soon Jenny found herself anxious. The vacation package wasn't the fairy tale it had promised to be. It felt like a trap instead. The money she had worked hard to save was slipping through her fingers, and the joy she had anticipated faded just a little as the trip wore on. They stood in front of the Louvre, and while Jenny beamed at Jake and Mia, the pressure built. Each click of the camera felt heavier, each moment tinged with worry. The vibrant colors of Paris blurred with her fears, transforming this once-in-a-lifetime trip into a scramble for compromise. With every extravagant meal and overpriced souvenir, Jenny's heart ached knowing this dream was turning sour. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Returning home from Paris was a stark reminder that reality had a way of creeping in. The joy she felt turned into disillusionment, and the vibrant memories of love and laughter faded into the everyday grind. In the following weeks, whispers of concern about her financial situation spread like wildfire. Friends she'd once leaned on for support began to pull away, their eyes clouded with judgments Jenny hadn't invited into her life. Amidst this internal chaos, she stood at a community fundraiser, where tension hung in the air like summer heat. Old friends, once sources of strength, became adversaries. Confronted by one of her closest allies, Jenny's heart broke at the raw anger that bubbled to the surface. The accusation struck deep, mixing betrayal with self-doubt. "It's not just about the trip, Jenny," her friend shouted, the crowd falling silent. All eyes fell on her, the weight of expectation pressing down like a heavy cloak. As she fought for her voice, clarity surged. Was she chasing fleeting highs at the cost of her values? That night left Jenny reeling. Would she allow the fractures within her friendships and the burdens of disappointment to crush her? Or could she redefine success, holding fast to the love she had for her children, their dreams, and her resilience? A knot of uncertainty twisted in her stomach as she took a deep breath, standing firm against the storm approaching. The fight for her true happiness was just beginning. The following day, Jenny woke to the gray light of morning filtering through her bedroom curtains. The world felt heavy like the air before a storm. She rolled out of bed, each movement deliberate, as if understanding that this day would be pivotal. As she sipped her coffee, the bitter taste mirrored her anxiety. Would she be able to face her friends again? She grabbed her phone, scrolling through messages. Most were notifications from group chats, but one stood out: a picture of Mia holding up a half-eaten croissant, laughing under the Eiffel Tower. That moment, frozen in time, tugged at her heart. Could she refocus on the joy they had shared? She wanted to shield her children from the weight of her disappointment, to dive back into that magical bubble where dreams lived. Determined to make amends, she texted a few friends, inviting them over for dinner that night. She thought back to the countless evenings spent around her kitchen table, laughter spilling into every corner of their lives, moments when friendship felt like a lifeline. But would tonight be different? Would they come with judgments or open hearts? As the sun began its descent, painting the sky in soft pastel colors, her living room filled with the familiar chatter of friends. The scent of roasted chicken and garlic wafted through the air, mingling with her growing hope. The first few laughs broke the tension like ice cracking on a river. Jenny felt lighter, her heart beat a little faster, longing for connection. But as the meal unfolded, the conversation turned. They began discussing vacations, casually dropping experiences like precious stones, each one more extravagant than the last. The laughter dimmed. Jenny felt the hot pricks of embarrassment crawl up her neck. She had wanted to share her journey, to inspire and be inspired, but now the weight of her trip loomed over her like dark clouds. "Did you have fun at least?" someone finally asked, and Jenny's stomach twisted with the irony. What a simple question wrapped in layers of complexity. Should she lie and weave a story of delight, or unveil the truth and risk alienating those she once considered allies? "I thought it would be perfect," she started, her voice shaky. But she paused, feeling all the unshed tears rise to the surface. "It ended up being overwhelming. I let the costs consume me. I thought experience meant spending lavishly, but now I see it's the moments that matter." Laughter even amidst the chaos. Several friends exchanged glances, eyes widening with curiosity and concern. Then something shifted in their faces. "We all face those moments, Jenny," one friend finally said softly. "It's what makes us real. It's how we grow." Jenny looked around the room. Love was there even amidst the uncertainty. She felt a warmth seep into her bones. Perhaps in the telling she'd find healing. But deep inside, the remnants of her earlier hurt lingered. As the evening wound down, she caught sight of Jake and Mia playing in the living room, simple joy radiating from them. In their laughter, Jenny felt a sense of clarity wash over her. She knew she didn't need to please others, nor did she need extravagant trips to define her family's worth. Later that night, as she tucked Mia into bed, she whispered, "We'll make new dreams one tiwi?" The little girl's smile brought a rush of warmth to Jenny's heart. But just before sleep claimed her, a thought occurred to her, a plan to reshape their lives, a vision that was more than dreams of Paris. What if she focused on her goal of rebuilding, on the love that never faded? This was only the beginning, wasn't it? With resolve melting into excitement, Jenny realized she was ready to take the next step. But what would it mean to redefine happiness for herself and her children? The next morning, Jenny woke with a renewed sense of purpose. She gazed out the window, the sun spilling golden light into her room, washing away the remnants of doubt. A smile teased her lips as she thought about what lay ahead. Today was about vision. It was about crafting a life that mirrored her dreams but in a different, more profound way. After breakfast, she gathered her kids and sat them down. "Okay, team," she began, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and trepidation. "I have a big idea. How about we create our own adventures right here?" Jake perked up, his curiosity piquing at the prospect of something new. "Like what?" "A treasure hunt." "Better. Let us map out all the things we'd love to do. Places we want to explore around the city. Things we can do together that are fun and free." Mia's face lit up. "Can we go to the park? And the library? I love reading." "Absolutely. We'll make a list." Jenny's heart swelled with joy watching her children's enthusiasm. There was power in this simplicity, in crafting new experiences from the fabric of everyday life. They dug out a large piece of poster board and markers. With each suggestion, their ideas flowed like a river. Visiting the local botanical garden, making a picnic, biking along the river, even hosting a movie night under the stars, every thought encouraged more creativity. As they wrote, Jenny felt a weight lift. Each name on the list was a connection, a chance to bond and create lasting memories. "Look at this. We can do all of this together. It's our own adventure map." The excitement in the room was palpable. They read the growing list and giggled at some of the wild suggestions. At that moment, Jenny realized she'd inadvertently taken her first step toward shifting her perspective. They didn't need the extravagant to feel alive. They needed each other. After the brainstorming session, Jenny decided to take action. She reached out to her friends again, but this time, she invited them to join in their local adventure. "Hey, we're planning a fun-filled day at the park this weekend, with games, a picnic and fun activities for the kids. Would love for you to join." The response was immediate and enthusiastic. Her friends were excited to ditch their busy schedules for a day under the sun. Planning the outing gave Ginny an unexpected jolt of happiness. As she prepared games and snacks, she reflected on how far she had come. No longer clinging to the validation tied to costly experiences, she began to truly embrace the joys of being present in the simplest moments. As the sun set that evening, painting the sky in vibrant hues, a familiar bliss wrapped around her. She tucked the kids into bed, smiling as they whispered excitedly about the plans for the weekend. That night, Ginny lay awake, thoughts swirling in her mind. Was she prepared to fully embrace this shift in approach? What other changes could she make? She could feel the thrill of potential, a soft rhythm of hope echoing within her. But could she sustain that joy? As sleep enveloped her, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the start. Tomorrow would bring new challenges and deeper revelations. And just as surely, her heart whispered the question: what would it take to truly redefine happiness in every aspect of their lives? The morning of their adventure was filled with bright chatter. Ginny stood in the kitchen, the aroma of pancakes and syrup wafting through the air, mingling with the sound of Jake and Mia giggling as they chased each other around the living room. Sunlight poured in, filling the space with warmth, and for the first time in a long while, Ginny felt truly alive as they sat around the table, gathering energy for the day ahead. Ginny could hardly contain her excitement. Today is the day we explore. Let's make memories. She watched Jake's eyes sparkle as he filled his plate, while Mia's effervescent spirits suggested they run straight to the park. After breakfast, they hurried to gather their supplies: a blanket for the picnic, a frisbee, and of course Mia's favorite books. Ginny gave them each a task. Jake was in charge of snacks, while Mia handled the playlist for their makeshift park party. It made her smile to see them so engaged. Arriving at the park felt like unwrapping a gift. The green grass stretched out as far as the eye could see, dotted with families enjoying the sunshine. Ginny took in the scene: kids flying kites, friends playing games, laughter ringing in the air. She breathed it all in, feeling the energy wash over her like a tide of joy. They found a perfect spot, setting down their blanket under a tree that cast playful shadows. Jake launched right into a game of frisbee with a few nearby kids, while Mia nestled into her book, her smile as wide as the sky. Ginny watched them, her heart swelling with pride and a profound sense of accomplishment. But as the day rolled on, Ginny couldn't shake a whispering doubt. Were these moments strong enough to replace the old ones she had chased? The vacations and grand events? She shook her head slightly, pushing the thought away. "Hey Ma, watch this," Jake called out, expertly catching the frisbee. He beamed with a grin that brightened Ginny's heart. This is what mattered. She stood up, cheering for him, her love filling the air with an electrifying excitement. After playing, they spread out the picnic blanket and unveiled their treats. Laughter filled their little corner of the park as they devoured sandwiches, fruit, and cupcakes. Sitting there, surrounded by her giggling children, Ginny realized this was happiness. Simple, beautiful, and fleeting like the warm breeze brushing against her skin. But then she noticed something as they finished their meal. A few of the kids nearby had drawn a crowd, their laughter leading to a game of tag that drew Jake in. He looked breathless with joy, and Ginny felt a pang of yearning. Could she bridge the gap between the expansive life she once knew and the grounded reality she'd chosen now? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting everything with a soft golden light, Ginny felt an undeniable yearning for deeper connections. What would it take to blend this newfound zest for simple joys with the rich life experiences she once chased? And just as quickly, another question gnawed at her: would her friends feel the same sense of belonging, or was this adventure just an escape from her past? With hearts bursting for the next moment, they packed up, laughter echoing behind them. But the question lingered as they drove home. Would she dare take another step into unknown territories, or would she cling to the safety of what once defined her? As they drove home, the setting sun cast a warm orange glow over the world outside, enveloping the car in a cozy, reflective ambience. Mia leaned against the window, her head resting on her palm as she stared out at the blurred landscape. Jake was chattering excitedly about his adventures, recounting every detail to Ginny with an enthusiasm that made her smile. She found herself caught between the joyful chatter and the silent whispers of her thoughts. The drive felt longer than usual. Ginny was lost in a mix of emotions, the laughter of the day intertwining with the doubts that lay heavy in her heart. What if she failed to create a life full of joy for her kids? Was she ready to dive deeper into the connections, to reach out to others, and to embrace that vulnerability again? She glanced in the rearview mirror at her children. Jake's animated face and Mia's gentle expressions brought her comfort, yet the pang of yearning stirred within her. They pulled into the driveway and Mia leapt out first. "Can we go to the park again tomorrow, Mom? Please?" she begged, her voice bright and hopeful. Jenny nodded instinctively, but the truth was she couldn't promise they'd return so soon. There was the whole world out there, waiting for her to rejoin it, but the safety of their little bubble felt comforting. Jake joined them, excitement radiating from him. "Yeah, we can play every game, and I'll show you my frisbee tricks." His eyes sparkled with possibility. "Maybe we can even have a picnic with friends," Mia added, looking up as if envisioning their next day. Jenny forced a smile, holding back both delight and fear. "That sounds fun. Let us see what we can do." She wanted to support their dreams, but was acutely aware of her inner uncertainties. As they settled in for the evening, the cheerful dinner conversation faded into quieter moments of the family kitchen. After they cleaned up, Mia took out her favorite book. Sitting on the floor, she began reading aloud, her small voice echoing softly in the cozy room. Jake joined her, and soon they were immersed in a world filled with magical creatures and brave adventures. Jenny leaned against the kitchen counter, her heart warmed by their giggles. Yet, the feeling of something missing clawed at her. Wasn't there more to discover? Had she been hiding behind their laughter, stifling her desire for genuine connections with others? The soft sounds of turning pages filled the air, but they slowly became a backdrop to a different kind of thinking. What if she reached out to her old friends? What if she tapped into that adventurous spirit she once had? Could the three of them also broaden their circle and find family and friendships? Just as the children finished the chapter, a sudden thought gripped her. What if I did something bold, like organize a gathering with the other parents in the neighborhood? A real barbecue, games and laughter? The idea rollicked in her mind, sending waves of thrill and intimidation coursing through her. Could she pull it off? Was she ready to step beyond her comfort zone? That night, as Jenny tucked the kids into bed, she kissed their foreheads softly. She paused for a moment, watching their breaths rise and fall peacefully. "We're going to create a beautiful life together," she whispered before softly closing the door. With rekindled determination, she sank onto the couch, grabbing her phone and scrolling through her contacts. Each name represented a different thread in her past, pulling her toward the connections she had neglected. Her heart raced as she considered reaching out. Would they remember her? Would they even want to gather again? Just then, a shadow of doubt crept back. In what if they were all too busy, or it would only bring back the memories of what had been lost? Yet as she hovered over the screen, the thought that perhaps this was the healing she sought pushed her forward. With a deep breath, she began typing out a message, and that decision set the wheels in motion for a meeting that could change everything. Little did she know it would also reveal truths about her friendship she had never expected. Would she be stepping boldly into the unknown, or simply facing the fear of the familiar? The next morning, Jenny woke up with a mix of excitement and dread buzzing in her stomach. Sunlight poured through the kitchen window, illuminating the table where she sat with her coffee, a notebook spread open in front of her. Ideas for the barbecue flowed one after another, but each thought was met with a nagging fear. What if no one came? After getting the kids ready for the day, she leaned against the kitchen counter, contemplating whether to go ahead with her plan. Through the air, what had she done? With her thoughts spinning, she replied half-heartedly, feeling small again. Yet, deep inside, she clung to a spark of determination. As she texted back a polite acceptance, a thought struck her hard. What if that was just the beginning? She needed to find that courage again. But would she find it, or would the path lead to deeper pain? As the evening rolled closer, Jenny stood at the edge of the backyard, contemplating what would unfold in the coming hours. Would she embrace this challenge, or retreat into her safe cocoon of hesitation again? The sound of children giggling pulled her back into the moment, yet a deeper question lingered in the air. What really awaited her and her family tonight? With a sigh, she stepped back into the crowd of uncertainty, ready to face whatever came next. The sun began its slow descent, casting golden hues across the backyard, painting everything in warm light. Jenny could hear the distant sounds of kids laughing and the faint thud of a basketball being dribbled down the street. A flicker of optimism nudged her heart, but it was quickly overshadowed by doubt. She forced herself to take a deep breath, shoving those worries down. Mia was meticulously laying out her drawing on the picnic table, careful not to let the summer breeze ruffle it. Every now and then, she sneaked glances toward her mother, seeking approval. Jenny's heart swelled with pride, yet anxiety clawed at her insides. "Sweetie, that looks perfect," she called to Mia, who beamed back at her mother. Just then Jake raced up, clutching an oversized beach ball. "Can we play outside? Maybe someone will come early." He was always the optimistic one, and Jenny admired that spirit. "All right. Just be careful not to knock over the drinks when we set them up." The playful banter lightened the mood briefly as Jake and Mia tossed the ball between them. But soon the carefree laughter melted away as Jenny's phone vibrated again, pulling her back to reality. She hesitantly glanced down, her anxiety spiking anew. It was another message from a friend. "Sorry again, Jenny. Just realized we can't make it tonight. Hope you guys have fun though." Her breath caught. "Great," she muttered to herself, a dark cloud settling in her mind. Following that, like a dam breaking, a flood of other messages came in. "Too busy, other plans, might be out of town." Each ping sounded like an echoing rejection. "Moom," Jake shouted, excitement bubbling in him. "Can we set up the grill?" "Yeah, that's a great idea." She tried to sound enthused, though her heart felt heavy. They moved to the grill area, where the aroma of charcoal filled the air, and Jenny fought to keep her focus on the task. Yet the thoughts of waves of rejection washed over her. "Do you think anyone will come?" Mia asked suddenly, her innocent voice piercing through Jenny's cloak of gloom. Jenny knelt beside her daughter, yearning to shield her from the same worries that tugged at her own heart. "Of course. People care about us, they're just busy now." She forced a smile, but inside doubt swirled wildly as the evening shadows stretched across the yard. Jenny felt more like an entertainer than a host, her spirit hanging on the edge of despair. She took a moment to collect herself. It was time to shift her perspective, to stop worrying about who would or wouldn't show up. Maybe tonight was just about creating beautiful memories for her family. With renewed determination, she began to call her kids over. "Let's make this barbecue fun regardless of who shows, okay?" They nodded eagerly, and soon they were all laughing, pretending to grill imaginary burgers as they danced around the yard. Their joyful noise blended with the distant sounds of buzzing cicadas and rustling leaves, bringing a sense of warmth back into Jenny's heart. They were a family, and no hurtful message could change that. But just as they settled into their playful routine, the unmistakable sound of a car engine roared into the driveway. Jenny's stomach flipped. Could it be? Before she could process it, the car door swung open, and familiar faces emerged. "We wouldn't miss it for the world," shouted one neighbor, waving a cooler high in the air. "Surprise!" another friend called out, and as they strolled toward the backyard, a wave of relief washed over Jenny. "See, Mom? They came," Jake squealed, his eyes sparkling with glee. Jenny's heart swelled. Maybe this was just what she needed to push away the clouds of doubt. As laughter filled the air, she looked at Mia, who was beaming with joy, holding her drawing tightly. The spirit of connection was rising. But just then, she noticed another notification on her phone. A message that made her freeze. "Hey Jenny. I just saw my message. I can make it after all." A flicker of confusion crossed her mind. Would this evening turn into the magical gathering she had hoped for? As more friends arrived, each bearing smiles and gifts, Jenny couldn't shake the feeling that unexpected turns were just beginning. What more surprises lay ahead? And could this barbecue truly become the turning point she needed? It felt like the night had more to unveil. As laughter echoed through the yard, Jenny felt a glimmer of hope rise in her chest. Friends mingled, the garden filled with conversation and the scent of sizzling burgers. Kids dashed around, their laughter like music that wrapped around her heart. Each arrival pushed away the shadows that had been glaring at her all summer. Yet, in the back of her mind loomed that latest message. What if it's not just good news? She thought, glancing at her phone. What could this new arrival mean? Just as she wondered, her friend Lisa rushed over, her bright smile infectious. "Hey, I can't believe I actually made it," Lisa exclaimed, grabbing Jenny in a warm hug. "I'm so glad you're here." Jenny replied, breathing in the familiar scent of her friend's floral perfume, a comfort that reminded her of so many memories. They moved toward the grill, where Jake was showing off his impressive flip of the beach ball to Mia, who was squealing in delight. It felt almost surreal, the way their small patch of home life blended with the warmth of the summer night. Then came the news: a newcomer. A lively group of friends arrived, packing in cheers and laughter that spilled over the fence like a joyful cascade. Jenny felt lighter with every familiar face. She caught snippets of conversations, laughter spilling out like the fireflies bubbling up in the dusk around them. "Did you see Mia's drawing?" Lisa said, pointing to the picnic table. "Mom, can I show everyone?" Mia's voice rang out, excitement suffusing her small frame. "Absolutely. Everyone come see Mia's masterpiece," Jenny encouraged, beaming with pride as Mia took center stage. As Mia shared her drawing, Jenny found herself drifting, watching her daughter glow under the attention. It was in these moments of unstinted joy that Jenny realized how long she had been tangled in her worries and fears of what others thought of her. Perhaps this night was a reminder that joy wasn't always tied to numbers or plans that people couldn't keep, but was instead rooted in the simplicity of connection. Just then, another sound caught her attention: a hesitant knock at the back gate. A moment of stillness fell over the gathering, like the world paused to capture what felt like a surreal moment. "I'll get it," Jenny announced before anyone else could react, moving toward the sound. With each step her heart raced, knowing who it might be. Yet, as she swung the gate open, the answer left her stunned. Standing before her was Aaron, the friend she hadn't seen in years. "Hey Jenny," he said, a sheepish grin on his face. "I just saw the lights and heard laughter. I thought maybe I'd crash the party." "Wow, Aaron, you're here." The surprise wrapped itself around her like a warm blanket, the past flooding back in waves. Memories of shared struggles loomed large alongside laughter-filled nights. "Didn't think I'd be welcomed back, huh?" He chuckled, eyes glinting with mischief. "Of course, everyone's here." Her heart swelled as she thought of the night's earlier worries. Maybe this would be the reunion that brought everything full circle. As she introduced Aaron to the others, Jenny felt a warmth filling every corner of her heart. But even amidst the joy, a seed of uncertainty remained. Why now? What did this mean for him, for her? For the first time it felt like the universe was conspiring, unearthing unexpected treasures on a night when she feared failure and solitude. Could this gathering truly rebuild bridges, or would the past come rushing back like an unwanted guest? As the laughter and warmth wrapped around them, Jenny realized the night held secrets still veiled in the shimmering twilight. What past heartbreaks would emerge with Aaron's presence? And in unearthing old wounds, could they find new beginnings? The laughter momentarily hushed as Aaron stepped into the glowing light of the backyard, a moment that felt both electrifying and strangely nostalgic. Jenny could hardly believe her eyes, yet the warmth of familiarity surged through her as she watched him shake hands and greet everyone as if no time had passed. "Still got that charm, huh?" Lisa nudged Jenny, a teasing grin painting her face. Jenny smiled, attempting to shake off the wave of apprehension that threatened to dim her joy. "You know he has trouble," Jenny quipped back, but the smirk on her face betrayed her. Deep inside, she felt that flutter, the echo of the past reminding her of everything that had once been. Mia's enthusiasm broke through the moment as she ran toward Aaron. "Look at my drawing," she exclaimed, holding out her colorful masterpiece with beaming pride. It was a simple piece, yet it radiated the beauty of innocence. Aaron knelt to get closer, visibly impressed. "This is amazing, Mia. You're a little artist," he said, his voice warm and inviting. Jenny watched the two connect, a strange comfort settling in her heart. Maybe this was exactly what they needed. As the gathering resumed its rhythm, the sound of familiar tunes played softly in the background, notes weaving through laughter and chatter. Jenny tried to shake off her doubts, wanting nothing more than to enjoy this moment. But Aaron's presence pulled at her, each interaction serving as a thread tugging her back to their shared past, a connection layered with joy and heartbreak. "Hey, can we talk?" Aaron said, his voice cutting through the laughter as he approached her, his eyes earnest. Something about the way he spoke struck a chord. Her heart raced, uncertainty washing over her. "Sure, let us go over there," she replied, nodding toward a quieter corner of the yard, away from prying ears. The two moved slightly apart, the buzz of conversation fading into the background, leaving the two wrapped in their own cocoon. "You look good," he said, softening his voice. "The place looks amazing too." "Thanks. It feels good to finally have everyone here," Jenny replied, trying to maintain a light tone despite the weight pressing on her chest. "Yeah, I've missed moments like this," he confessed, running a hand through his hair. "I guess life has a funny way of pulling us apart when we need connections the most." She felt the sincerity in his words. "What brought you back, Aaron?" He hesitated, catching her gaze, but the flicker of trouble danced behind his eyes. "I've been trying to figure things out with everything that happened between us. I wanted to see if maybe we could, but just at that moment." A loud burst of laughter erupted from the yard as Mia tumbled over Jake, a glorious mess of giggles and play. It seemed to jar them back to reality, both momentarily distracted by the joy surrounding them. "Maybe later?" Jenny suggested, uncertain. "Yeah, would you mind?" He shifted his feet, shoulders slightly slumped in that familiar way that told her he was holding back. "Okay. Later." She felt a mix of relief and hesitation as they joined the throng of laughter again. Yet as the night unfolded, Jenny sensed a tide of change. Old comfort mingled with new uncertainty. Aaron had shown up when she had least expected him, and it felt both like a blessing and a curse. What lay ahead? And would their history become the anchor or a sail? The warmth of the summer night washed over her, but beneath it was an undercurrent of questions. Could they truly reconnect? Or were memories simply shadows, beautiful but painful? As the stars twinkled overhead, Jenny felt the weight of time pressing down. Would she dare to uncover those buried feelings, or let the past lie? The air thickened with potential as she caught Aaron's gaze across the crowd. There was a story waiting to unfold, a chance to uncover what this night might reveal. Would she seize that chance or let it slip through her fingers like sand? As the night deepened, the laughter and chatter enveloped Jenny like a warm embrace. But the air also crackled with tension, a whirlpool of emotions swirling just beneath the surface. Every glance towards Aaron was a reminder of the once inseparable bond they shared. Tethered now by the weight of unspoken words, as the fire pit crackled to life, illuminating familiar faces and casting playful shadows, Jenny turned away from the warmth toward the chaos of kids. They were dancing around Jake and Mia, who were now lost in their imaginations, pretending to be pirates searching for treasure. The sight pulled at her heartstrings. It was moments like these she wished to capture forever, not just in photographs, but in truth, the unconditional joy of family and shared laughter. "Hey Mom," Jake called out, interrupting her thoughts. "Can we roast marshmallows? Please, please." His excitement felt infectious, throwing Jenny right back into the present. "Absolutely. I'll get the sticks." While she hurried to gather supplies, she couldn't shake the question of what could happen with Aaron. Could they really navigate the currents of their shared past? Or would old wounds resurface, creating more distance than ever? Despite the uncertainty, the prospect of reconnecting thrilled her. Deep down she wanted answers and she wanted closure. The smell of sweet, toasty marshmallows soon wafted through the air, mingling with the laughter. Jenny was captivated, stealing glances at Aaron across the yard as he chatted with Lisa. She felt the edges of a smile tug at her lips, but then a thought broke through, steeping her in doubt. What if their friendship was just a memory to be cherished but never revisited? "Mom, look. I made us more," Mia exclaimed, joy radiating from her little face as she presented her creation. Sticky fingers smudged with chocolate and marshmallow. "Can I have a bite?" Jenny grinned, tearing a piece off, and they both giggled at its messy sweetness. This is the best. As Jenny watched her children nurture their relationships, a sense of determination blossomed. They were writing their own stories free from past shadows. What if she did the same? What if she opened up to the possibility of rekindling something with Aaron, albeit with caution? "Do you mind?" Mia asked as she bounced toward Jake for a playful duel. Jenny looked after them, heart full. This was the happiness she had missed. So why not embrace it? She glanced at Aaron, who was setting up the music, a smile stretched across his face. Maybe tonight was the night for honesty. With a flutter of nerves, she edged closer to him. "Hey," she started, heart racing. "Can we talk now?" "Of course. I've been hoping you would." His voice was steady, but his eyes shimmered with something Jenny couldn't fully read. Was it hope? Regret? They stepped away from the gathering into the soft glow of the porch lights. Quiet surrounded them, and she could hear laughter fade into the background. I meant what I said earlier, he began, his voice slightly hesitant. I've really missed all of this us. I didn't think we'd get here standing together again. Jenny took a breath. This was it. Me too, she admitted, a warmth spreading through her. But we've both changed. Life has changed us. Yeah, for better or worse, I'm ready to face that. His sincerity washed over her, quieting her doubts. I want to know how you're really doing, he continued, each word wrapped in genuine care. Honestly, it's been tough. I thought escape meant happiness, but I found it in small moments with my kids, she said, her voice strong. It's the simple moments that carried me through. He nodded, understanding deepening between them. I realized I was looking for all the wrong things too. The joy I once chased felt empty, but maybe we can redefine what friendship means now? The earnestness in his gaze struck something deep inside her. Maybe this was the moment to reclaim her story, to breathe life into connections worth exploring. And wasn't it worth a try? Maybe we can find our way back? Jenny felt her heart race, but she also felt lighter, vibrant. Yeah, he smiled together. From behind them, the sound of children's laughter grew louder, mixing seamlessly with the strumming of a guitar. In that magical bubble, everything felt possible. Jenny turned, spotting Mia and Jake laughing alongside their newfound friends, carefree and full of dreams, and it ignited a realization. Her past had shaped her, but it wouldn't define her anymore. Hand in hand with the memories, Jenny felt ready. She was ready for the new chapter, ready to embrace the fullness of life right in front of her. As the stars sparkled overhead, Jenny raised her glass in a toast. To new beginnings and to the joy of discovery. Her voice rang loud in the crisp night air, echoing around them. Adoring smiles lit up the garden, and she watched as those she loved surrounded her, all eager for whatever lay ahead. Can we do this every night, Mom? Jake's innocent voice carried the weight of her heart. She looked down at him, and his bright eyes reflected her own joy back to her. Yes, every night, and even more adventures. Jenny shouted, feeling exuberant and free. This was just the beginning. And with that, all burdens, doubts, and fears washed away into a sea of hope. It was time to build their world together. A world filled with laughter, love, reliability, and authenticity. As she swallowed another bite of her s'more, she saw Erin join in the play, embracing every moment with her children. They were all family now, rebuilt by forgiveness and warmth, a tapestry woven with shared dreams big and small. If you felt the power of this transformation, this is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe now to not miss our next exclusive stories. Please leave a like to feed the algorithm and help our community grow. And don't forget to comment your feelings about this ending. This journey is just beginning. So share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Your support truly makes a difference.